Alright, how close are you to getting in?
I'm loading the character select.
Okay, because we do need to run off debris. I've got a bunch of crap that needs to be sold or taken care of, and I've got like 9 minutes before it expires.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll be in. You can just start talking to the stream peoples.
I mean, generally people come trickle in a little after we start, so
So I was on the page where the stream was happening,
mhm.
and Twitch pulls up a notification and it says Vanlin is streaming right now. Would you like to watch it?
No way! That's cray cray.
Greetings, friend of the Rohirrim.
Are you streaming?
Last I checked. All right, is Galtrev? Galtrev's the big city, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's
Your aid is welcome, friend.
what's the camp that's nearby? Like the Theodred's camp. Ah, okay. Grimbold's camp. Okay.
Welcome, my
I will
friend.
meet you at Grimbold's camp because I gotta go sell stuff.
I'm being abandoned.
Oh, oh, come off it. It's the kitty cat. He's staring at me.
These lands are not to be traveled lightly.
Hey, these lands are not to be traveled lightly. Don't know if you heard, but
And well met, my friend.
what are we on an RP server now?
No, that's just something my brain. I either recalled either Dunlendings or Rohirrim people saying it when you click on them.
I am devising a plan. Once all is ready, I want you to be a part of it.
Okay, well I am just kicking it here at Theodred's camp or Grimbold's camp.
You having a party?
Oh yes, a sexy party with sailor hats even. Are you in the game yet?
Yeah, I'm in the game. I'm collecting gifts now. Well, I guess I'm off to Bree, all alone.
You wouldn't do that to me. Okay, why is it not letting me shoot you an invite?
I don't know.
You are you heading back to Grimbold's camp?
Yeah, I'm coming. It is an odd thing.
Hmm? What's another thing?
But you could not add me. Oh, I looked to see if I could add you from my friends list. Apparently, you're not on my friends list. And then I tried to add you to my friends list, and it's like the chat server's not available right now.
Odd. I don't suppose you're back in the camp, are you?
I'm coming. I'm almost there.
Well, hopefully once I see you, then we can add each other.
They've done away with the party system forever.
I mean, I don't see that being a very viable thing. Ah, there's Sundavar. You didn't just take the stable master?
No.
Why?
Because my brain farted.
Okay. All right. My Christmas goat. I love my
He's
Christmas goat.
adorable.
Well, it's nice to be back streaming after a couple of weeks of just kind of unexpected chaos.
Life kept happening.
Well, I mean, to be fair, 2 weeks ago, when your sister came to town, we didn't find out until like Friday night that the plan had to change and that they were only going to be in town for like a day, less than a day. And that threw off our entire plan of streaming and whatnot.
And then last week, LOTRO decided to like uninstall itself from your computer.
No, I had to uninstall it. Because it just, for whatever reason, there was some executable that wasn't being found, and so, yeah. So I had to uninstall it.
I'm still loading Bree.
Really?
Yeah, it's taking its time this morning.
Because I've already gotten my subscriber jug.
So I see. My computer's not firing on all cylinders, I guess.
And it would seem that way. Well, while I'm waiting, should I seductively eat a banana?
Who are you trying to seduce?
I don't know. The interwebs?
Or the banana?
Yes. No, this isn't OnlyFans. I won't do that. You won't let me set up an OnlyFans. Not that anyone would be interested anyway. I'm fat, old, and out of shape. OnlyFans is a young person's game.
You don't want to be that lady who was selling her jarred farts?
Okay, to be fair about her, if you could make money selling your jarred farts, then make money selling your jarred farts. That's capitalism. Do it. Go for it. If people are dumb enough to buy it, let them buy it.
A fool and his money and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, it's you on a Christmas goat.
It is I on a Christmas goat.
Are you dancing?
Maybe a little bit.
Your goat has all the energy that you have.
Not really. I don't have that much energy today.
That's a lie.
You can't prove that it's not, or that it is.
People will believe me.
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I'm being chased by something.
You're on a goat. You go faster than it.
This is true, and I still have my 20% mount speed buff. Okay, so where is we headed?
Back to that dwarf.
I thought we already finished this up with the dwarf.
Now there's more to do with the dwarf.
Well, okay then.
And then he's going to send us into a cave.
At your service.
Ah, Vantu, fancy us meeting at a place like this, but then where else would we find enough goblins to make sport of?
Greetings, traveler.
Where there are goblins, there are almost certainly wargs, and this place is no exception. Those accursed wargs are everywhere around here. We must thin out their numbers before they smell us out and hunt us down.
There's some water dripping on the floor.
Better than the flood we were having last night. Because that was a nasty drip. Wait, where are you going?
Where did you go?
I went just further down the path. Where were you going?
There's another path.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can go down this other path, because I see stuff to kill. Ruh-roh.
We're going to have to come back to kill that lady.
Which lady?
The black matron.
Oh. The one I just killed?
She'll respawn.
Well, that ended not as bad as I thought it might.
What do you mean?
I pulled like the entire room.
Oh, and you thought it was going to get you.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go a lot differently.
Look, she's back.
Cool. That was cool.
Are you feeling bloodthirsty this morning?
Maybe a little bit. It's been 2 weeks since we were able to stream. Of course I'm feeling a little bloodthirsty. Sinister recipe. Is that for a quest?
I think stuff is having an issue because I can't interact with that.
I can't interact with it either.
Well, and I'm pretty sure this room is supposed to have enemies in it.
This place has been very enemy lacking.
I mean, unless there's like a couple of max levels just cleaning this place out, and we just haven't seen each other yet.
I mean, theoretically possible, but unlikely.
Are we stuck in limbo? Oh, I found a goblin.
As did I. And there's also a butcher's knife in this horse.
Oh, I need to see that.
You do?
We have a quest to figure out where the horses went.
Ah.
But I can't interact with it.
You can't? Really? Try reloading your UI. Or wait, do you have defeat the butcher?
I have find the missing horses. We might have to find the horses. Oh, I found the missing horses. What's left of them? Now I have to talk to Ondor and Nangornir.
Okay, I still have to talk to Ondor and Nangornir as well.
For horses gone astray?
Yeah.
Then we're on the same step. Hooray.
Yeah, it looks like you would need to, you would have needed to just kill the butcher, which we just did.
Or just find the horses.
Well, okay, I mean, I found the horses when I picked the knife, I guess. I don't know. We're on the same step. That's the important thing. Where are you going? Do we need to go down that other way?
Well, the door was right there.
Well, yeah, but we're not done killing wargs.
I see a warg.
I do too. I'm just gonna run through here and just grab everything up because I'm a bad person.
Well, that's enough wargs.
Yep. What the frick?
What?
Well, we came out and it was just... all of a sudden, someone spawned in combat. Odd.
Greetings, traveler.
That is one more pack of the flea-bitten beasts that we will not have to worry about. Good work, Vontu. So that is where the poor beasts were being taken, a goblin slaughterhouse. Dwarves have little love of full-grown horses, but I would not wish that fate on any creature, hooves or no.
Welcome. You have
The lord of this pack of Mongols is called Manglemaw. He is as terrible as they come, but you will not be able to get close to him without the rest of the pack tearing you apart, unless you can challenge him, that is. Wargs always choose their pack leaders in battle, and usually have some place where they issue challenges to each other until enough of them have been ripped apart that the rest are too frightened to fight the one on top. No ranking warg can refuse a challenge, so if you step in there, they will fight by tradition. Beat enough of them, and Manglemaw will no doubt face you. It seems very sophisticated for wargs.
Well, they are more than just animals.
Really? Hey, wait, hold up, you're leaving me behind. Okay.
I think, like, the original wargs were regular wolves that had fell spirits enter into them.
Hmm.
And so these descendants might not have fell spirits in them, but they share in that evil and cunning.
I see. Which is why in our, like, Journeys campaign, Colfang was able to speak with us then.
Mm-hmm.
that was easy.
That's because there's 2 of us. And we pretty much rock everything we see.
I mean, yeah, the fact that we're a party of 2 definitely makes it easy. Well, I mean, everything's just about on level around here. Also, I have a quest to go turn in. A little ways south of here.
Oh, the interior quest location?
Yeah. I don't suppose that wargs would ever accept you as their pack leader, but you've thrown their pack into chaos by killing Manglemaw. They will spend days tearing at each other until they figure out the new pack leader, or who the new pack leader will be. So you may have noticed that wargs do not exactly make the best behaved mounts. Well, it takes a powerful goblin to keep them cowed enough to train and ride them. That is where the Master Beast comes in. If you kill him, the rest of the goblins will have a difficult time keeping their mounts in line. Okay. What is this quest in location, or interior quest location thing? Should we go see?
Well, I think we have to go back in there anyway for the Master of Beasts.
Ah, okay. Works for me.
Are you with me?
I'm right behind you. And I'm
Oh.
running into lag.
Yeah, me too. Oh, now there's enemies in this room.
It's the cook. Does that mean we can interact with the sinister? Yeah, we can interact with the sinister recipe now. Interrupted my picking it up. This unusual goblin recipe calls for a number of strange plants that grow in the area. Though you have no urge to sample goblin cooking, there is something about this recipe that nags at you, and you wonder if it might prove useful in some manner. Okay. Well, now we need to figure out where to loot the stuff that these goblins want. Or that this recipe calls for, rather.
We can also interact with Butcher's Knife now.
I already interacted with it.
Oh, it didn't let me last time. I gotta kill the Butcher now.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, was that, you know, I was asking if, like, it counted for you as well.
No, I didn't have the quest.
Which quest? You should have had the quest.
The one where you have to kill the Butcher.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how you didn't.
I couldn't interact with the knife before.
Well, yeah, because I already interacted with it. Whatevs. Alright, so where are... I assume all these mushrooms are in here.
They might be outside, but I'm not positive.
Have you done that quest, the goblin cooking quest before?
At one point.
Because I've not seen anything to interact with around here.
I haven't either.
Where'd you go?
Down the path?
I don't even see your dot.
I'm coming back. I saw you.
Oh, there you be. Oh. I apparently earned 5 LOTRO points.
For what?
I don't know. I think you killed a warg, and that took us to the next deed of Warg Slayer or something.
I just completed Warg Slayer.
Yeah, that I seem to recall seeing that pop up. Oh, here's the Master of Beasts.
Hooray! He was muttering.
Huh?
He was making weird muttering sounds.
I was?
No, the goblin.
Oh. I thought you said you was. I'm like, yeah. Hey, Dill, how you doing? Good to see you again. Sorry about the last couple of weeks, man. Oh, there's a path down here. I don't know if that's gonna lead to any mushrooms.
They might be outside.
I don't know, because there's a whole bunch of mushrooms right here. We're doing all right. We, you know, life's just been a little crazy the last couple of weeks. Is this where we came in?
No, this is a different door.
Okay. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, my sister-in-law was visiting, and I forgot to mention it on the stream. And we had planned so that we would be able to at least stream for a little bit, but then Friday night we found out that there were going to be no flights to get her home, get her and her kids home on Sunday. And so she basically was here for just Saturday. And that had to push up our timetable in terms of picking them up from the airport and whatnot. And then, yeah, so we ended up being very busy with that. And then last week, we were all set and ready to stream, and then I tried pulling up LOTRO, and I kept getting this error message about a missing executable. And no matter what I did... Oh, there's a mushroom there's a cramp root right here. Sister-in-law, but yeah, the same premise, basically. But yeah, anyway, last week when I tried to pull up LOTRO, I got this error message about a failed executable or something. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get it fixed. And so basically it came down to I had to completely uninstall LOTRO and reinstall it. And it was very annoying. And it took about, you know, hour and a half-ish process to download and get all up to date and everything else again, so. But it's all good. We're back and everything's fine. Okay, so we need wart blooms and bloodcap mushrooms. Are they going to be in this area?
No, they're a ways away.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go a ways away then. Because now I'm very curious about goblin cooking. Bless you.
Thank you. I'm
But yeah,
pretty sure
so-
it's not edible.
Probably not. But yeah, so that's been the last couple of weeks for us. It's just been a little crazy. And unexpected. But we're back, and things should be back to normal. Although next week we are we're probably only gonna have a 2-hour stream instead of a 3-hour one, just because we've got our usual game day scheduled, and my friends wanted to start it a little earlier so we could get a little more in. So we'll be wrapping up about an hour early.
I saw a mushroom briefly.
Oh, really?
Here it is. I found a mushroom.
Hooray!
Oh, it's
Praise
so
be-
wholesome.
What? Oh, yeah, it does. Frick. Praise be unto merciful Xenu. May the oceans boil in ecstasy with his arrival. Warg Riders may be the strongest among goblins, but their mounts are hard to control. With the Master of Beasts gone, this band will have a difficult time mounting up for a while. A fact I don't think you're complaining about. Ugh. I finally found the goblin in command. He is up in that stockade to the north. It's a bit tricky to get in there without being spotted by the guards, though. Your best chance may be to sneak in through the caves behind the stockade. The goblin calls himself the Captain of Fangs or some such. If you can defeat him, it will be a while before anyone leads a raiding party out of the Vale. Yeah, I mean, I'm a homicidal sociopath.
Wart Bloom.
I just love killing people.
There you go.
Oh boy, here I go killing again. Gosh, that's a good show. It just sucks that it's, you know, like year and a half, 2 years between seasons. I mean, clip whatever part you want. I'm just not sure which part you're referring to. Also, you're leaving me behind again.
I'm collecting mushrooms.
You're still leaving me behind.
I'm doing what you do in WoW.
I still try and keep you, you know, close in WoW. Yeah, go ahead, clip the psychopath part. I don't care. I'll kill anyone. Old people, young people, babies. I have no morals. I just love killing people.
I have a feeling that's a reference that I'm not getting.
It is a reference. That's what I was talking about with the show, you know, having like a year and a half to 2 years between seasons. You know full well which show I'm referring to.
I didn't know that was part of the same reference.
Yeah. But you know which show I'm referring to, right?
Yeah, that's Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Like, I know you don't particularly care for Rick and Morty, but... But it is very quotable.
It is.
We were actually talking about... We were talking about it at work yesterday in our our like 3-hour working meeting. Yeah, we were talking about the first interdimensional cable episode, and I was just going on about the first time I saw the strawberry Smiggles bit. I just being like, what the crap did I just watch?
Should have known then what you were signing up for.
Oh, I've never regretted getting into Rick and Morty, by any means.
So that warg died right after it looked like you just clocked it with your rock.
I am the melee runekeeper.
Yes, you are.
Which is funny that I take such pride in that distinction when you really kind of have to be somewhat close for a lot of the spells to be able to be used. It's really not that unique.
Is that Minstrel trying to kill the same guy we're trying to kill?
Maybe.
Is that the minstrel from earlier?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Windy Father. Ah, he just broke his leg.
Tee-hee.
See, other LOTRO players break legs. It's not just you and me.
I never said it was just you and me. I just said you constantly lead me to breaking my leg.
I usually break my leg too. It's not that big a deal. You walk it off.
How? Your leg is broken. You literally can't put weight on it.
And yet, we walk it off all the time.
You vex me, woman. A lot of corpses around today. Anyway, are you excited to get to our next stage of the Journeys campaign?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Now that we've got the new expansion. Oh, you wants trouble, do ya? Well, trouble you got. There's a wooden chest over here if you want to get it, because I've gotten, like, the last 4 or 5 things.
I think he was supposed to say that when the combat started.
Probably. Apparently, according to Northeus, chat is getting steamy.
Come on, let's break our legs.
Why do I do this? Why do I always do this?
Because it's faster than walking around.
Follow you off a cliff so often. You know what we still haven't played? The Genesis 2 part of Ark.
I've heard mixed things.
Yeah. I've heard Lost Island has been fantastic.
But that's just back to your basic kind of island with a few new dinos.
Yeah, but, I mean, that can be fun.
I don't know. We kind of arced ourselves out.
I mean, I would not mind jumping back into it. At some point. The Alpha 20 of 7 days, though, is still kind of new, and so that's been very enjoyable. Which, do you want to get on 7 days tonight?
I'd be open to it.
Cool. With a new tactical rifle, we should be able to do a bit more. Well, at least I should. Because I can really pump out the damage now. And I've got a much larger clip than I was having before, and it's amazing.
And it takes half the time to reload.
Yep. Well, that should finish our work here. We will need to head into the Isengard soon if we intend to put an end to the goblins, though. Ooh, cool. That sounds sexy. Let's go do it. Let's 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 do it. Well, Bantu, since we have done what damage we can here, it's about time you met back up with your friend Dagoras. He said he would be headed towards the gates of Isengard and could probably use a hand there. What strange draught do you have there? It looks vile. Let me have a sniff. Ondor's face blanches as he catches the odor. Oh, what manner of poison is this? Let me see that recipe. A spice? What madman created this? It would fell an ox if you could get one to taste it. No cook worthy of the name would create a recipe like this. I suspect your cook is more of a mad alchemist with a penchant for poisons. Now, we all know that goblins and wargs are not known for being particular about what they eat, and though most poisons would not bother them much, this little spice might be enough to muddle one. Perhaps this cook would be a bit easier to deal with after the taste of his own provender.
Why did you go accented?
I don't know. It just kind of happened. Because it was a dwarf and it felt more appropriate. Do I ever really have a good explanation for like 90% of the stuff that I do?
Usually, yes. You
I
think things through usually, but sometimes you just have some energies.
I would say that is debatable. Thank you, Dill. I've been known to be able to do a few things with my voice.
The stew's over here.
Yep, I seize it. Oh, crap. Wait for the goblin cook to taste his brew? Oh. Okay, I guess it didn't change anything.
Okay.
I mean, it still says talk to Ondor now, so we'll go talk to Ondor.
We spiced his stew and then we just wailed on the guy.
I mean... Yeah? You say this like it's a bad thing.
Nope, it's just what we did.
You know what feels like forever ago? And kind of was forever ago? Moria. It really does, though, doesn't it?
It does. You know, it also feels forever ago
What?
when we did Weathertop.
That was coming up on a year ago soon, I'm sure.
We've been doing this for almost a year.
I think we've been doing it for... well, we've been streaming for over a year. We've been doing LOTRO, I think, for almost a year. Because I think we started last March. So...
I'm not going to read?
Oh, it is a relief that the Mad Goblin will not be brewing any more vile potions. Was it the 27th of February, Dill? Huh. Well, okay then. The evil matron of this particular war pack has unleashed yet another layer of the filthy beast upon the world. She may not look like much, but when I was sneaking about earlier, I saw her pup strip the flesh off an entire ox in just a few minutes, which gives me an idea. That evil spice you made, there is a bit of it left, yes? A light sprinkle of that into the pup's next meal ought to keep them subdued while you deal with their mother. Yeah, we'll just kill them. We've killed them and the mother about 3 times, I think, at this point.
I think your accent's getting stronger.
Okay, is this the problem?
It's just a thing.
Oh, okay.
Did that work for you?
Yeah. Talk to Ondor. Hello, Eisenwarg. Oh, I'm apparently friends to Theodred's riders. What's the next stage after friend? It's not kinship, right? Or kin?
Ally?
Okay. Well, that should take care of the matron then. I'm afraid her pups are probably too tough to expire to a single dose of that spice, but I don't think I could bring myself to kill off a bunch of pups anywhere, even if they are wargs. I will regret that in a few months when they are gnawing on my entrails, mind you. Okay, I'm getting a little thicker than I can handle on the accent. Okay, so ally, and then it's kin.
Come back, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back.
What? What about it? Ah.
Because otherwise you gotta walk.
Fair enough.
Wrong camp. Haha.
Okay. I are confuzzled.
He moved. The version of Daggerus that we need to talk to is in a different spot.
Ah, I see. Mount up.
Yep, but we can just follow the road.
It's like Canada. Follow the only road.
I was thinking more Wizard of Oz.
But there's only one road in Canada. At least that's what South Park taught me. Bless you.
South Park also teaches one that Canadians are made of paper mache, so...
Yeah, and the top part of their face is unhinged from the bottom part.
So I would take what they teach with a grain of salt.
I'm aware. Oh, there's a backpack right here. Vantu, you have made it this far. It is good to see you well, for this vale is treacherous indeed. I have yet to find a way into Isengard unseen, but I have spotted someone unusual headed towards Isengard by the road. We will want to watch carefully to see what transpires. Hearken to me, Vantu. One of Theodred's men, by Grimbold's command, is on his way to parley at the gates of Isengard. It would seem that Saruman would prefer to avoid this meeting, as there is a band of particularly unsavory half-orcs skulking along the road. You should clear the way for the emissary, for I would also like to hear what Saruman has to say for himself when confronted. Homicidal sociopath away. I mean, I to a degree. To a degree, Dill. I don't know. They're just funny.
Look at this guy. He couldn't ambush, like, anything.
Yes, he's very conspicuous. The most conspicuous of hobbits or half-orcs or whatever. I was trying to go for a joke there and it didn't quite land.
That's okay.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm right next to you.
Oh, I thought you were running away from me.
Where are you going?
There's half-orcs right here.
He's a full orc.
Yeah, but we at least have a Slayer quest. Or a deed, anyway. Are you running into some pretty insane lag?
I've had a little bit of it. Most of the time, it's not too bad.
You tracking?
Yep.
What's the little green shield around them? Inspirational stance? Interesting. Oh, here's one.
That's a sentry.
Yeah, but I thought we needed to kill half-orcs.
Half-orc
Oh.
and berserkers.
Okay.
I found one.
Man, they're just, like, dropping.
We're dropping them.
That's what I mean. Like, they're just not... They just go down so quickly.
Well met, my friend.
Good work, Vontu. It appears that Grimbold's man should make it through to Isengard, but he will face a far greater danger when he approaches the gate itself. If rumors to be believed, Saruman's voice has the power to bewitch those who hear it. Take care of yourself, Vontu, though I am certain that you already know the danger.
May go on and stay a moment and speak with me.
Grimbold's emissary will arrive shortly. You must escort him to the gate of Isengard and ensure that no ill befalls him there. Perhaps we shall have some answers as to the full extent of Saruman's treachery at last. Speak with me when you are ready to meet the emissary. Oh, is this going to be another solo thing?
Doesn't say it is.
Oh, okay.
An emissary of the Rohirrim approaches the gates of Isengard, hoping to learn the true intentions of the wizard Saruman.
I can scarce recognize this veil. It was once green and beautiful.
Is that what Ordware sounds like?
Yep. Some dark mood has seized the will of Saruman if he has allowed this to happen.
You want to go even faster when we're already outstripping this guy?
No, just get into the Christmas goat dance. Are those trolls guarding the gates of Isengard? Yes, they are. No mood is this, but madness. What purpose could Saruman the Wise have for servants such as these? What is Saruman thinking? To yoke trolls, ever the servants of the Darkland, to his cause? I had feared that he had some ambition to bring Dunland under his sway, but this... We would speak with Saruman. Will he not come forth to speak with an emissary of Rohan? I assume no, he will not. Stand fast, Vontu, though I fear this will be the end of us. Hold. Let our visitors be. There is much to occupy my attention at this time, O Dware of Rohan. But ever shall I advise those who require the aid of my wisdom. So tell me, the mind of your lord Theodred in these difficult times. Theodred sends his greetings and apologies for trespassing upon non-coroner unlooked for, but his concerns... He fears that we know not the purpose of our old friend in Isengard, and here I find a desolation as if war has already come to this vale, and servants of the dark proportion in your retinue. Evil times have come indeed to Isengard and far abroad. The wise prepare for war, as none can mistake the clamor of the hosts of Mordor. When Sauron's power rises, each lord would be well advised to see to the defenses of his realm, lest it fall. Yet, while Theoden staidly sees to his house, his wayward offspring scurry about, meddling in the affairs of others. Will you not withdraw from this foolish confrontation with the unruly Dunlendings? What scrap of land so concerns you when darkness gathers across these lands? Do not remain on my account, for as you can see, Isengard is well defended. Of course, Saruman. Forgive my impudence. Saruman is right. If the power of Mordor is rising, we should not be here. It would be best to leave the ford to the wild men and reinforce Meduseld. You do not believe him? Surely Saruman means to aid Rohan in this dark hour. And we see here that his strength is considerable. It may be as you say, and the darkness of this place brings doubt to my heart. Do we dare trust our borders to this wizard who so hides his purpose behind strange and perilous guardians? Wait, Saruman, we did not come looking for aid. We came to know your purpose, for your intercessions with the Dunlingdons, and for this... the Vale. My purpose is not to be questioned by the likes of you, Ordware, nor shall I reveal it to you yet. But know that when it comes to the fruition, these foolish wars and pointless conflicts will end, once and for all, and this world will once again move forward in prosperous order. As for Isengard, you need not fear what you see here, for it is nothing more than a tool, a gear, and a great engine to fulfill my purpose. There is much afoot, and I have no more time to waste in idle banter. Tell Theodred to return to Meduseld, for if he remains upon the ford, even the wise cannot foresee the outcome. Very well, Saruman, I will convey your advice to Theodred, my prince. Oh, one other thing. Vontu, do not imagine that your continued meddling has not caught my eye. You would be well advised to return from whence you came before you became involved in affairs beyond your ken. Now go. I will convey Saruman's message to Theodred, and I hope that he will follow Saruman's advice, but I do not think he will. I fear we are destined for war, no matter which way we turn.
This dude's straight up walking away from us.
I must return to the fort now, Vontu. I wish you would not remain here in this forsaken place, but you have your own business to be about. May fortune ride with you.
Your aid is welcome.
Such is the influence of Saruman's voice upon the unwary. Even now I find myself wishing to believe the truth of what he said, though I need but look around myself to see his dark intent. I do not know what words Ordware will return with, but I fear it will only serve to confuse matters further for Theodred and Grimbold as they weigh their next choice. While I was scouting to the east of here, I thought I saw some kind of movement among the trees upon that slope, but I could find no figure moving about, nor any tracks to indicate what it might have been. I have a growing suspicion that, what it is though, and it may be much to our advantage. This may sound queer to you, but I suggest that you carefully gather up some of the seedlings trying to gain purchase in the devastated vale and carry them with you up towards that ridge. And if I were you, I would handle them with the utmost care. Hello, new people on the stream. Welcome on this great Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us here, and hope you're enjoying yourselves. Feel free to chime in on chat. We're always happy to see new people in the community. All right, so where are these seeds that we're collecting?
On the other side of the river.
Okay.
Andy, there's a bridge here.
Quite, yes.
I found one.
Yep, this guy would interrupt us. So these are just regular seedlings trying to make it here in the Vale.
Yeah, falling from these big old dead trees. So I'm not sure stuffing them into our pockets is handling them with utmost care.
It's probably not. I'm just mindlessly following you.
You could just use /follow and I'd just go.
No, I also want to kill stuff. Because, you know, I'm a long ways removed from the days where I couldn't kill anything.
I mean, you would get into combat all by yourself and be like, help!
Yeah, you remember those days?
Yep.
I mean, it's like I said, long ways removed.
Before you had even read your skills.
And I had zero clue what I was doing. I mean, I still have very little idea what I'm doing, but...
But you managed to kill just about everything you get put up against, so...
Yeah, I can hold my own at this point.
So the background music just kind of sounded a lot like...
I'm kind of a ways away from you.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. So the background music, what?
Kind of made that low horn sound like you would get in Avatar when they were like going to the Fire Nation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Have you gotten all your seedlings yet, or is this your last one?
this should be my last one.
Okay. That's a good series. It's a very good series.
It is.
Why are we running all the way over here? Also, you're leaving me behind yet again. You always do this.
You gotta run faster.
I have no movement speed buff. You know this. You are my movement speed buff.
Just run faster. Pump those legs a little bit harder.
I can't change the code.
You made yourself the melee runekeeper. You can probably also make yourself the sprinting runekeeper.
There's no buff in any of the talent trees that gives me movement speed.
There's not one either for bashing opponents' faces with rocks, but there you are.
Arguably, yes, there is, because so many of my skills have such a short range.
I don't know if we're going to make it up this hill. We might have to find the path.
Well, poodoo.
No Skyriming up for us.
You do enjoy your Skyrim mountain jumping. Why take the quick and easy path that's laid out for you when you could spend 3 hours jumping up the mountain 1 inch at a time?
Because the path is on the other side of the mountain.
Yes, spending a whole 1 minute riding around the mountain is so much less efficient. Farewell, little orc. You have chopped your last tree. Home. 1 moment now, Tyrone. Perhaps I have been too hasty. You are not an orc, are you? Even if you do rather look like one. Elf, you say? Well, that is new then. And what do you have there? Why, I know these little ones. I raised their mother down in the vale. Before the orcs came with their axes. You had best introduce yourself then, little elf. Those thrice accursed Budarum. Those orcs have slain virtually every tree within the Vale of Nuan-Corridor. Why, I knew this one beach, barely 50 years old, mind you, down by the river that they just... No, I shall not disturb you with the terrible details. Let us say that I am in a mood to tear a few branches off those Budarum and see how they like it. Perhaps you might help. Perhaps you would punish the orcs for me. Oh, yeah, homicidal sociopath. Let's do it.
He's got more quests.
Oh, he does? Home. These little orcs seem without number. As each one falls, another runs to take up the axe and continue cutting. It may be that their tools are worth more to Saruman than their lives. Without them, they cannot fell the trees. Perhaps you could gather their axes and hatchets and hurl them into the same fires upon which they burn the fallen trees of Nan-Kurunar. Let us see these Budarum cut down trees with their bare hands. Though I dare not reveal myself yet, these little Uruks are not much of a threat to me, even if their axes do sting a bit. But they have constructed engines that can hurl great bolts, even set flame. These things could seriously harm even an Ent. There are ways to deal with such things, however. Take these seeds, they have been bathed in one of my Ent draughts, and bury them beneath each of the engines. They will not threaten us much longer. Well, okay.
We're making orc friends.
You and I have very different definitions of friends in this instance. I do not. I would be shocked if those we call friend would be looking to have us kill them.
Now that's how orcs express friendship.
I mean, to a degree, you're not wrong. Why are these guys not counting?
Only the woodcutters count.
Oh, only the woodcutters? Oh. Okay, well. Well, it's at least giving us deed progress.
Yep. We're aiming for a camp over in this corner, too.
Okay, but I'm just killing everything along the way because I can.
Nobody can stop you.
I mean, in theory, I'm sure someone probably could, but... Wow, we got really separated.
I still see you on your on my mini map.
I still see you on the minimap too, but you are quite a ways ahead of me. Alright. Ooh, a ballista. We got reputation for destroying the ballista,
Cool.
but we also got 30 marks. I feel like there was something else that happened there.
Looks like we finished. Oh, we finished exploring Nan Coronir.
Ah, that would explain it.
Because we found the camp.
So I'm guessing we're getting close to done with this zone then.
Yeah. I mean, we're working our way through it.
Oh look, there's a stone troll. Let's kill it. Because we can.
To slake your bloodthirst.
Yeah, something like that.
We got him.
It'll be fun to come back through here when we're like max level and actually try, you know, like the Isengard raid and whatnot.
There's some cruel hatchets over here.
Oh, there's some woodcutters right here. And a corpse. So I can't tell if that's a man or an orc. Okay, where are these hatchets?
Over where I am.
Okay, well, there's an archer between me and you, so...
Where are you going?
Oh, I thought you were down in that other area. Like, to be on the next level fence here.
No, I'm just here. Did you
Oh,
get the
another
hatchet?
stone troll. Yeah, I got the hatchet. I do enjoy killing stone trolls.
Especially when they make you fly.
'Tis fun.
There's a hatchet right here.
Yep, I see it. So do you ever go back and finish off that traitor in the Falcon clan? Because I feel like I owe him retribution.
You will see him again.
Do we ever kill him?
I'm not going to tell you these things.
Well, why? I want to know. That's why I'm asking.
We will see him again.
That's not helpful. I still need to get rid of one ballista, by the way.
Yeah, I need one more too. I think
Okay,
this is an exit, so...
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd gotten all of them by this point or not. Oh, we've moved on to the next Slayer deed. We have to kill 200. Cool.
look, a hatchet. Oh, look, a hatchet.
Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. I'm glad you get that reference.
You showed it to me.
I did, but you already kind of knew what the reference was before that, though. Didn't you?
I mean, you'd probably said it before, but...
Oh, I seem to recall you saying someone mentioned it at your work at one point.
You know, I've heard that reference more than I would have anticipated, like, in the past year.
Yeah, because the past year you've been home a lot with me.
But, like, not just from you, but from, like watching stuff on YouTube and other things.
Yeah. Speaking of work, I really don't want you to have to go back Monday. It's so stupid. You've been working from home just fine for, like, basically since before Christmas. You've proven that you can work from home just as effectively. Why do you need to go back to the office? Oh well, whatever.
Tis what tis.
Yeah. Okay, I still need 1 ballista and 4 hatchets.
I need 3 hatchets. Where did you not get a hatchet?
I don't know. If I knew that, I'd only need 3 hatchets. Okay, well there's the ballista. There's a hatchet off in the distance there. Right here.
Also another stone troll hiding behind a bush.
Yes, very inconspicuous. He's like that rogue, that orc rogue that's had, 20 in charisma and like 0 in stealth that we read about.
Yep.
Who just shouts at people, see me. Gosh, I wish we could find a D&D group around here. I really would love to get into D&D. Okay, I still need 1 more hatchet.
Well, there's the bonfire. We have to toss the hatchets in when you find it.
Okay. Are you gonna come with?
I'm collecting a wooden chest, but yes, I will be coming. I think I know where you did not get one.
Okay, well, speed kindly light.
Alright, follow me. I saw you turn in to look at that stone troll.
I did. Oh, there's one right there. I know I already looted this one, but...
Well, there were 2 in this area.
Oh, okay. I only saw the one.
Hence why you still needed one.
Yep.
Toss it into the fire!
Oh, I intend to do so. Alright. Let's go to Quick Beam. Wasn't he mentioned in the books?
Yeah.
I thought so.
He's called Quick Beam because he once answered an elder's question before they finished asking it.
Which seems like an accomplishment only if you were an Ent.
They've always thought he was rather hasty for an Ent.
Hold on, don't leave me! Don't leave me! Oh, thanks for that, Karma. We can I don't know. We'll give that a try at some point here. With all the, you know, weird kind of stuff around COVID lately, I'm not sure how many people are looking for like an active group, but that could be fun. Also, thanks for chiming in and welcome to the channel. Glad that you're glad to have you here. Also, thank you for linking a website that isn't telling me to buy Twitch subscribers. Because that seems to be the only time we get websites linked in the chat.
Why are you killing that guy?
Because I felt like it.
Okay. That person is standing there.
Huh? What?
That person on that player on the horse.
Oh yeah, I
behind
remember
me.
passing him when we came through here last time.
But they're 140, so nothing here will bother them.
I mean, it might bother them if they end up wandering into it, but it's not like it's going to kill them. Not without an extreme amount of effort. The sight of smoke rising from those fires burns at my heartwood. So many fine trees lost and for nothing. It is scant solace to know that some small part of that smoke now carries away what is left of the hateful axes used to hew their noble trunks. I like you, little elf. You are willing to raise a weapon and to aid the forest rather than cut it down. Alas, I do not see that we have thinned their numbers much. I must think upon this. We should not be too hasty, as I am often reminded. Tarum. Yes, well, there are rather a lot of orcs, are there not? I suppose you cannot drive them all away. Well, then we shall have to learn more about them and get to the root of why they are here and what purpose Saruman has for them. They must have a leader. If you can find his dwelling, perhaps you might learn more. I think I still have one quest to turn in. As you can see, trees are stronger than any troll or artifice of the enemy. Our hands can crush iron and rock when we are roused to anger. Soon the forest will be roused. The trees of Fangorn to the east grow restless as they look down upon over the ruins of this vale. They will not remain quiet and still forever. Oh no, we know. I've seen the movie. Speaking of, Galen texted me last night, asking if we owned. He's like, "Do you guys own the extended edition of Lord of the Rings?" And like 5 minutes later, he's like, "In fact, honestly, I probably shouldn't have even bothered asking because I already know the answer."
Does he want to borrow it?
Well, he was asking if it was worth it, and I asked him, like, well, DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K, because we own all three extended editions. Oh, you're going a different direction.
I'm not even moving.
Yeah, he was like, you know, is it worth it? And I told him, yeah, you're never going to want to go back to the original. Oh, this guy has quests for me still. Oh, and I have a map to Mezes Seraj? What the heck is this? What is this map? Oh, no, I don't want to travel. Why do I
About to say, don't use it.
Mezes Seraj is the location of the Forester's Crafting Dungeon. This map will take you to the dungeon entrance. I once spoke with one of the wise who believed that trolls were indeed Ents. Tarum. Perhaps the wise are not as wise as they would like to believe. But it did get me to thinking. What if they are a bit Ent-like? You see, we have a draught which we give to trees when they become upset. It slows them down, makes them more tree-like, less dangerous. So if the wise are to be believed, and trolls are just a bit Entish, then perhaps it would work on them. Sure. Let's do it.
He wants you to go kill more stone trolls. Why do you sound sad about that?
I'm not sad. I'm just saying, let's do it. Okay. Sorry, I had to swap gear out. Yeah, and then I
All good.
to grab those, because those might actually be better than what I'm currently wearing. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, there ye be.
Not very far, just on the edge of the grove.
Okay, well, I ended up aggroing someone, so...
Did they aggro onto you, or did you aggro onto them?
They aggroed onto me, because I passed by them too closely. Anyway, so yeah, he was asking if it was worth it, and I'm like, yeah, you'll never go back to watching the theatrical again. He's like, okay, well, Kim and I just bought it on the Amazon Prime, so... I guess they now own the extended editions.
It's good stuff, though.
Which, given how, you know, the movies came out like 20 years ago, I am still flabbergasted as to how he has not seen them yet.
Has he seen the theatrical but not the extended, or
He's
has he
seen the
never seen
theatrical, I know that much at least. Because remember, he tried showing Angus, and Angus did not like it.
He was scared.
Yes.
But he's like 8 years old, so it's understandable.
True. But I've also known of, like, 4-year-olds who, like, loved the scene of Denethor running off Minas Tirith and taking that swan dive. So, like, yeah, every kid's different, obviously. But yeah, so I know he's at least seen the theatricals, but it doesn't sound like he's seen the extendeds, which to me, I just can't wrap my head around because I've seen the extendeds so many times. So I can't ever go back to watching the theatrical.
Yeah, when they put the trilogy up on Netflix, I'm like, yay! And then it was theatrical, and I'm like, no.
You can't do it. It's just not the same. You miss out on so much.
I remember when we got our extended edition DVDs the first time,
Yeah.
and we were looking at the chapter selection in the little booklet that was inside the box.
Yeah.
And it would have a little asterisk next to chapters that had extended scenes in them, and it was like half of them.
Yeah, because, you know, I think Fellowship alone has like a half hour of extra footage. And then I think, you know, Two Towers is like 45 minutes or something. I think Return of the King is about the same. I mean, it's a huge amount of extra footage that's just completely ignored. Hello, Mr. Conspicuous Troll. Conspicuous Troll is conspicuous.
He's not being sneaky.
Nope, not in the least bit. You know, I would love to have a Lord of the Rings VR game.
Would be cool.
Oh, it would be
Heck,
so
even
fun.
just this game in VR.
I don't know, because like Zenith just came out in VR, and you know that's the new big MMORPG for VR. And I really don't know. I don't see an MMORPG really kind of working out. I could be wrong, and it's entirely possible I'm wrong, but it's really hard to have like a seriously long gaming session in a headset.
No, I agree. It will eventually. The technology will be there where something, you know, like Sword Art Online is real,
Yeah.
but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
The headsets aren't comfortable enough. They don't last long enough,
I mean,
battery-wise.
they're so bulky is the problem. Are we supposed to give this drop to them and then kill them?
It just helps debuff them. Come over here.
I mean, like, Zenith has done really, really well for where it's at right now. You know, for having just released and given all the issues they had at launch. But, yeah. Oh, actually, he just texted, Kayla just texted me. He's like, I had to turn it off once they entered into the caverns and found Gimli's cousin, but the extended version is definitely worth it. Thanks for the opinion.
Over here.
Oh, sorry. Mostly because I was falling asleep, not for lack of entertainment, but because I was dang tired. I mean, he texted me about it at like 10 o'clock last night.
That's way too late to start those movies.
Yes, it is. It'll be nice when we actually, you know, have like a 4K player and we can watch them in 4K. I'm very excited to see how they look. Oh, wow. Was that you or was that the drought?
Probably the draft.
Oh, drought. Yeah, that would make more sense than drought.
Drought is a lack of rain.
Yes, which we are once again seemingly going into because it's weird. We started off with just so much snow and then we haven't had like a decent snowfall in
2022.
No, we had one at the very beginning of the year, didn't we?
See, I thought they mostly just all ended right around New Year's.
Maybe. I don't know. It would be nice if we could get a bit more snowfall before, you know, we go into spring, but at this point it's not looking like it.
Though we have gotten snow into like April before.
True. Kind of freak snowstorms, but true. But I'm not anticipating that this year. And it's unfortunate because we need the snow. Although we're actually pretty... We just got dumped on, though. So we're not doing terrible. Right?
Well, so I looked at the snowpack chart and it was saying that the mountains right near all the cities and whatnot, those are in the 80 percentages. In the more rural and nobody lives there at all areas,
Yeah.
then they're closer to 100, but they probably still want more snow.
I mean, obviously we'd want more snow, but like 80% of what we'd need is still not bad, considering how we've been operating at like 50% or less for a while now. Oh,
And we could still get like a really wet spring.
good. Snow's always better, though, but
Well, thing is, when it's spring down here, it's still usually snow up in the mountains.
this is also true. Tis what tis. We'll see what happens.
Or we could just move out east where they just get enough rain throughout the year.
Yeah, no, I'm good. As I've stated many times, I don't want to live in polar vortex territory where your farts freeze to your pants.
Don't lie, you really want to.
No, I actually don't want frozen methane sticking to my pants. Slower, you say? Drowsy, even? Yes, well, that is unexpected, but not wholly so. There must be something of ancient wood in them after all. To think that trees might have been bent so, it only makes me angrier. The Entmoot must know of this. Tarum. There's not anything here that's really worthwhile for me. Saruman intends to march south, and soon, I think. My fellows are unlikely to decide on their purpose before then, for they are not so quick to judge as I. That is unfortunate, I think, for so many orcs can cause a great deal of trouble, yet at least they will be out of our forests for a time. It also means that fewer will be here, near Isengard. Tarum, now that presents possibilities. Oh yes it does. It most certainly does. You want to find a way into Isengard? Well, there is one such way. As I could enter unseen, but you are so small, little elf. It seems that you could slip in through the cracks in the stone. Perhaps I can help you there. I saw a small stream made by the hands of men coming from within Isengard. It carries the stench of fire and iron, so I suspect that you can find your way inside along it. Meet me down by the edge of the river below, and I will show you the way. Give me a second, I need to update gear.
Oh,
Give me a second, I need to update gear. Okay, that should be good. I was still rocking something that was item level 69. But yeah, just got something that was 75, so I needed to swap that out.
It's a new clothes.
No, I mean it's just a bracelet. So.
I was standing up in the tree.
You were standing up in the tree, or what was left of the tree.
My sniper's perch.
There you are, little elf. Do you see this grate? Perhaps you can enter Isengard through there. Oh, is he going to rip the grate off?
Using his mighty strength.
I mean, he is an Ent. It would make sense. Come on, buddy. Ah, yes, here we are. Welcome, welcome, new people to the stream. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine Saturday. Feel free to chime in on chat. We're always happy to see new people come here, and thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy the stream. Ah, there you are, Vontu. I thought Quickbeam would find you a way in here eventually, but keep your head down lest the orcs discover us. Do you feel that vibration in the ground, Vontu? Saruman has constructed something down there. You can see some of the workings in the Great Rift in the Western Ward. I could not even begin to tell you what it is all for. He has goblins working on the engine night and day, though, so you can be certain it is important to his plans. If you can find a way down there and keep those goblins from finishing this great device of his, it will hopefully prevent any terrible surprises when it comes time to confront Saruman and his armies. This is repeatable.
So he thought we've kind of entered into the part of the zone where they've got repeatables for you. He's got one not repeatable, the Wards of Isengard.
Okay.
Maybe do that one, and then we can go back to Theodred.
Okay. It would not do to be seen here, Vontu. The servants of Saruman are everywhere. Saruman has made certain there are no shortcomings in his defenses. He has placed each of the wards of the Ring of Isengard under a master to ensure that all matters follow his schedule and purpose. Orcs are not independently responsible, so that is understandable, but it also means that if you can dispatch the master of each of these wards, his finely oiled machine of war, or engine of war, should shudder to a halt until he can replace them. Okay. Let's do it.
Ah, some lag.
Just a bit.
I really don't want you jumping over the fences.
Apparently.
But I want to jump over the fences.
Unfortunately, that does not seem to be an option. You're leaving me behind again. Why do you always do this to me? I thought you loved me.
You're like right there.
Yeah, now. Defeated the Master of the East Ward. Alright, let's clear some of this inventory. There we go.
We're following the road again.
I remember being here as a slave.
And now you are here as a free person.
Yep, although not as a sexy Leia slave. Although I don't have the body for that.
They gave you slave clothes. You didn't put them on.
It wasn't the sexy Leia slave's clothes.
How do you know? You didn't put them on.
I saw you wearing them.
Ah, but I was wearing a different model of them than you were.
Yep, arguably that would have been the sexier. You would have been the sexy Leia slave one.
Now, LOTRO doesn't do sexy ladies.
I know. I'm well aware. I'm being. I'm being me and
I know.
silly.
I know. I'm really surprised that troll did not aggro onto us.
I am too. I thought it would.
I thought it had, and then you just kept walking.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of LOTRO points today.
We're finishing up deeds.
Yeah. Oh, there's a backpack.
And a wooden chest.
Well, let's go for it. Gosh, I love that spell. What are the things that we can disenchant again?
Just right-click on your Flame of Encalamir, and it'll highlight anything that it can disenchant.
But like purple items, can those be disenchanted?
I'm not positive. You'll have to highlight your thing and see what it says.
Okay.
Sneak in through.
I'm. There we go.
We're threading the needle right through the enemies. Except for that one.
So, did we just come through here, like, just very inconveniently timed? Like, someone else had just come through and killed all these guys?
No, I don't think so.
They just had to wait for us to get there to spawn.
Yeah, I don't think those guys show up until somebody with that quest shows up.
Gotcha. Bless you. Oh, yeah, I just remembered Disenchanted came out. I need to get caught up on that.
Yep.
The new season. Well, that might be a today binge type thing.
Play some StarCraft. Watch some Disenchantment.
Something like that. Or Disenchanted, I think is the name of it, technically.
Did they change it
I
at
think
one
they
point?
did, because I swear I remember it was called Disenchantment when it went live, or in its first season. I swear I remember them calling it Disenchantment, not Disenchanted. But whatever.
Greetings,
Oh, we've got
friend of the
friends.
company.
No, we don't. That did not take you very. That did not take you very long. I wonder that you were able to move about Isengard without drawing greater alarm. Something must be afoot to distract the master of the house from dealing with such an incursion. I hope we're not too late to put a stop to whatever is in motion here. Oh, you are. Don't you worry about that. You are.
Hail, friend.
Okay.
I think his ones are repeatables now.
If you have a moment, I have need of your assistance.
Looks that
Greetings.
way.
If you have a moment, I have need of your
Okay.
assistance.
Well, back to.
Back to the
Greetings.
Wait,
If you have a
don't go
moment,
anywhere.
I have
I'm
need
not
of
going
your
anywhere.
assistance.
I'm staying right here. All right. Well, I guess that finishes out Caird Norin.
Nan Kuranir?
That yes, Nan Kuranir.
Oh, the kitty just brought in his fish.
Oh, sorry, kitty. Okay, Grimwald's camp.
Greetings, friend of the
Oh yeah, there's a
Mercury.
stable master here.
Yeah, it's the second time you've done that. At least
Yes,
this time I
to
was here to
Grimwald.
remind you. Kitty, I'm sorry, but we're kind of tied up at the moment.
back into places that are green and
I'm
beautiful.
devising a plan, and once all is ready, I want you to be a part of it.
I'm devising a plan, and once all is ready, I want you to be a part of it. I'm glad you have come. I would have welcomed any of your ranger friends as well, but I understand that they have their own mission. I wish them well in it. Enough talk. It is time to strengthen my forces. They will have need of strength in the days to come.
We know that Saruman has a much larger force of Uruks than we do of men.
From what you have said, we know that Saruman has a much larger force of Uruks than we do of men. Grimbold estimates that each one of us is worth at least 20 Uruks, but he is from Grimslade, and the men of that place are not known for their mastery of numbers. I fear he underestimates the savagery of Saruman's forces, and then there are the hostile Dunlington clans to conquer. Athelard has gone to the Eyot in the middle of the river to train some of the men. They have seen less combat than others, and they have much to learn if they are to be of help during a real battle. Go to him and help train these youths. Okay. And we are back onto the epic storyline. Didn't you want to start focusing on the epic storyline again?
Yeah, it's probably about time for that.
Okay.
But you wanted to make sure you wanted to do the stuff in Isengard. So.
I did. I did want to see Isengard. Alright, come on, let's talk. These men need to be stronger, and we are the only defense between Saruman's evil and the people of Rohan. I need to make them stronger. Find a warrior and an archer and fight with them, Vontu. Perhaps your example will teach them something. I mean, I doubt it, but okay.
Go beat up noobs.
I am ready to show you the strength of my arm.
There we go, finally.
If you believe you can best me in training,
I do believe I can best you in training. Very much so. Well, what do you think of their abilities? Are they made of stern enough stuff to stand against the forces of Saruman you beheld within Isengard? Athelard sighs heavily. They will have to do. You should find Runegar and help him with the training of his riders. He is just to the north of Grimbold's camp. Okay.
Okie dokie pokey.
There's a vicious warhound right there.
And it is not a friendly, vicious warhound.
No, it is not. I gathered as such from the fact I had a sword on it when I hovered over the thing.
And that it's a red dot on the minimap.
There's that too.
And that its name is like blue.
There is also that as well, yes. My men are practicing a technique to help them fight from horseback. A technique that will snare their opponents with careful aim. My men can ensnare their enemies' legs with a thrown net. It will then keep the foemen from attacking until our footmen can close the distance. Gather up the nets they have already thrown and bring them to me, Vontu, and I will give them to new riders. This is something they must master if we are to be as effective as we must be. Very good. Their skill throwing the nets is improving with each pass. Once they have mastered it, we'll be better prepared to face any unmounted foe that comes. Theodred will wish to see you. He is somewhere in the camp to the south, I expect. Tell my prince that the riders are becoming more skilled at the technique he suggested and that I have some craftsmen working on more nets.
Prince Theodred is somewhere in Grimbold's camp.
It won't let us use the back door.
Of course not.
Gotta make things complicated.
Of course they do. Okay, so what is an epic battle?
We will get to those.
Because I just hit Shift B and it pulled up, and I was like,
So there is
We need every
content,
man to be ready.
but instead of you and like either alone or in a party, going through a path and clearing enemies and bosses and fulfilling objectives,
Mhm.
you are not the only like fighting force or the biggest hero. You're basically in a location. So Helm's Deep has like 4 of them. And you have specialties that you can put points into, where either you are really good at using the siege equipment or you specialize in fighting the enemies that show up. And you have some side objectives and you've got some just kill as many enemies as you can, but there's different ways to do it because like if the people who do the siege weapons do it well, fewer enemies will make it to where you are.
interesting.
Stuff like that. So it'll make more sense when we do them, but we're not doing them till Helm's Deep. You've got a way, so
Oh, okay. Your news is welcome, my friend. We need every man to be ready, for what I have in mind is dangerous. But the reward, should we prevail, could be significant. If we wait until Saruman's army is ready, we cannot hope to hold the fort against him. We do not have the men. Your report of the size of Saruman's force has it much larger than I feared. If we can catch him before he is ready, we might strike such a blow that his force will be sent into disarray. He is wise, yes, and is the wise man not cautious? He will see that we have taken him by surprise, and he will retreat behind his walls, and he will continue to grow his army until he is certain we cannot oppose him. Every day that goes by is a day in our favor. The size of his army is of no account as long as it stays within Isengard. Let it stay there forever. We must make him uncertain enough of his success that he never moves it. That is my proposal. If you are still willing to help us, Grimbold has asked that you ride with him. Sure, let's do it. Where's Grimbold?
he's up here. Grimbold of Grimslade, not a number counter.
Prince Theodred's plan is a daring one, but there is wisdom in it, and he's like in his father in this. He does not shy away from using his strength where it is necessary. I would like you by my side during this daring strike, Vantu. We will plant the seed of doubt in Saruman's mind, and he may think twice before sending his army forth. Prince Theodred... No, he's talking. Prince Theodred's plans are set forth on the map table, Vantu. Study them and acquaint yourself with them. We will begin at dawn on the 25th. We will strike Saruman hard and fast and use his own caution against him. So long as he thinks his army is not ready to march and must remain behind the walls of Isengard, it will be of no threat to Rohan.
Ready for some instances?
Sure. Let's do it. Oh, it's
solo
solo. Alright, you study the maps placed upon the table and consider Theodred's plans. First, he must determine what defenses to leave at the fort of Isen. Then he will ride north to Isengard with a host of riders. The attack will begin at dawn. Let's do it. Let's do this thing!
Dawn came swiftly on the 25th of February, as my prince prepared to conduct his daring strike.
I hope you have awakened refreshed, Vantu. I doubt not this will be a long day. I have a few matters left undone, which must be resolved. Then we ride. I will need many men at my side at Isengard, but we must not leave the ford undefended. Who did you have in mind to command the riders we leave behind? Kata was my first choice. His brother Edwig already spoke to me, desiring a place in our host. Their mother is old, and if our attack on Isengard goes ill, I would not deprive her of both her sons. Come, Vantu. We will tell Sinston to deliver this message. My prince. Prince Theodred, may fortune smile upon us this day. If it does not, we will make our own fortune, my friend. Sinston, is everything all right? What are you looking for? My prince, it is nothing. I misplaced one of my bracers, that is all. It will turn up, I am sure. I need you to cross to the East Bank with a message for Kata. Why do I keep yawning?
Gotta breathe more.
I guess. Tell him he is to remain here with his men and hold the fort against whatever may come. You want him to stay here? I will tell him, but he will not like it. Kata is a man of Rohan and will understand what is needed of him. I will not advance through the front gate to victory while leaving the postern gate open to the enemy. Someone must stay to hold the ford in the event I misjudge Saruman's mind. Theodred lowers his voice and addresses you quietly. You should go with Sinston to deliver my words, Vontu. He is untested by battle, and the men see him still as a green boy. Kata may be less bristly towards my esquire if you are there as well. I need a word with Ethelard before we go. He is not pleased at the quality of the spears we have, but it is too late to make more. They will have to suffice. Ethelard, where are you? Tell me why these spears are unsatisfactory. I hope you don't mind getting your feet wet again, Vontu. Kata is on the east bank of the river, and the stones can be treacherous. I'm not going to get my feet wet. My goat's hooves are going to get wet. Besides. Boing. Boing. Okay, never mind then. There's too much lag for me to boing correctly. May I ask you a question? You want to stop in the middle of the river and have a conversation?
He wants a private word.
You have come a long way from your homeland, Vontu, and you have seen a great deal of danger. The battles in which you have fought, when you were embroiled in the thick of them, were you frightened? I cannot ask this of the men. They would think me a coward, but I'm already frightened, and we have not yet begun to march. Well, I will be with Theodred, and he has never known fear. My gosh, I really need to stop yawning. I cannot bear to bring shame upon my family or my prince. Thank you for listening, friend. I will follow your example and not give in to these doubts. You are to remain here with your men to hold the fort. It is the will of the prince. I should not be left behind. My place is at the front of the column with my prince. Kata's eyes flash angrily at you from beneath the rim of his helmet. I will do as commanded, but I wish it were not necessary. My men will hold the fort against whatever comes, as my prince desires, but I think we wait here uselessly while our brothers and our friends ride into battle against the armies of Saruman. I understand the need for it, but I chafe at that need and do not want to sit here in idleness while Prince Theodred rides into danger. Gather to me, men of Rohan. We have our orders, my friends, my brothers. Our prince rides forth to see the enemy with his own eyes. Whee! He leaves the defense of his home and his people in the hands of those he trusts.
Why
Our
did you
hands.
say me?
Because I'm going back and forth on my goat. We will not fail him. Nay, we will not fail him. Let none pass into Rohan. We are the last defense of its people. That's all. Or that is all. Karma, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I did tell the prince that Kata would not be happy about staying here. You heard me tell him that. I'm going to stay here for a few minutes and see if I can find my missing bracer. You should cross the ford again and tell the prince that the ford will be defended while we are away. Alrighty. Yeah, seriously, appreciate it, Karma. It's, yeah. I mean, we're small, so every subscription, or every sub really matters. We're very appreciative. All is ready then? Kata will hold the east bank of the ford with the men at his command, and the rest of us will ride north to Isengard. The Aered will follow my lead, and Grimbold will dismount and command the foot as a separate unit if the terrain off the road warrants it. Athelard will call the mark for his archers. It will be some hours before we are in sight of Isengard. It is best we get started. Mount your steed and talk to Grimbold when you are ready to ride. Oh, you've been watching us on YouTube? Oh, wow, thank you. Yeah, no, we're here usually every Saturday. It's been crazy the last couple weeks, but yeah, we're usually here Saturdays. Well, thank you so much for catching the live stream, and yeah, we'll see you next week, I guess. Let us ride together, Vontu. Let us bring news of our defiance to Saruman himself.
Prince Theodred left riders at the ford of Isen to guard the passage into Rohan, and he went north with a second group to Isengard.
Let's do this thing. Are you okay? I heard you make some weird sound before it went to the cutscene.
I was petting the cat.
Ah, okay. It is a pleasant morning for riding, Vontu. If it stays thus, we will be at Isengard by midday and have brought Saruman to heel not long after. Let us catch up to the prince and get a good view of the road ahead. Where is the prince? Is he at the front? I see no prince. Oh, there's Theodred. My prince, what is the word from ahead? We will know soon. I have sent Hildred on ahead to scout the road. We are nearly there, Vontu. I can smell the stench of Isengard even from here. Look, he returns to us. Prince Theodred! There are orcs and half-orcs outside the walls, but their number is not great. It's a trap. We have taken the wizard unawares. No, you haven't. It's a trap. Perhaps. Do not celebrate yet, Hildred. The battle is still unfought. This news lightens my heart, but we must not forget that Saruman is devious. This strike will remind him we are not to be lightly set aside, and that he is not immune to attack. Any more than that is more than I expect. The dawn has passed. It will be midday when we move to the next stage of my plan. Ready yourself for what comes next, Vontu. We have several hours' ride ahead of us, Vontu. Then we will see if Saruman is prepared to face me in battle, or if he will cower behind his walls with perpetual caution. No, we don't. The road's, like, not that far. Wait, we're back at Grimbold's camp again?
Go back to the table.
Oh, okay.
Theodred came to the gates of Isengard by midday, and the Uruks arrayed before him, ready for his assault.
Hildred spoke true. There are orcs outside the walls, but their numbers should not be a problem for us, Vontu. Let us see what they think of my riders. Rohirrim! Our foes lie before us. See them assembled outside the walls. Outside their walls. Grimbold, have your archers send our greeting to Saruman. With pleasure, my prince. Archers, come forward. We will cut through the brush on this side of the road, Vontu, and attack our enemy's flank. On foot, but but my Christmas goat. Look, the riders have begun their attack. Do you hear that, Vontu? Someone comes. Get ready. Oh, I'm always ready.
You'll get off the Christmas goat to kill somebody.
I was already off the Christmas goat. That was not all of them, Vontu. Stay alert. Really? It's not like I've been through Isengard. It's not like I don't know what's going on in there. But thank you for telling me what I already know. More half-orcs approach. Yes, yes they do. Archers from hiding. Here comes another, and it sounds like a big one. Grimbold, Vontu. Prince Theodred has routed the enemy. Victory is ours, Vontu. Grimbold, come with me, and we will send them howling back into the Ring of Isengard. We will send them back to Saruman.
Our victory was short-lived. All was still as the gates of Isengard swung open. Out boiled a mighty force of Saruman's Uruks. They sought to surround us, and Theodred ordered a retreat.
Called it. Trap. We are outnumbered, Vontu. The prince has ordered a retreat, but first we must survive this attack. Our riders have managed to net some of our foes. Attack the netted Uruks and keep them from breaking through. I will drive some of the others away. I think anyone could have called that as a trap.
They're just trying.
I mean, I get it, but it's like... I don't know. It feels like it was just blatantly obvious. Let's just kill another netted Uruk for good measure. And because I'm a sociopath. This is our chance. We have to retreat now. Are you Vontu? You are. We have to get out of here. Shouts of despair and cries of terror rise from the pockets of Rohirrim still fighting for their lives. The archer looks at you with fear in his eyes and throws his bow down in the dust. The day is lost. There are too many Uruks. The men begin to break for the road back to the ford, and all sense of order is lost as the Uruks gather on all sides. Do I go to the map again?
Yeah.
Okay.
We formed up between Theodred and our foes.
This is far enough, Vontu. Let us turn and face our pursuers. We must give Prince Theodred some time to move further south. Alright, go on. Go on. I hate it when they do this, like, we have orcs as part of the environment, but not selectable.
Yeah, well, targeting is kind of hard for the enemies that you actually do have, because they'll be behind somebody and it's like they're not in line of sight.
Yeah, it's...
That's probably why they only make you do like 3 or 4 orcs.
I don't know where this orc I'm trying to kill is. Okay. That was annoying. We must fall back. Hurry. More foes from the flank. Stand your ground, Vontu. We must buy the prince what time we can. Oh, I believe me, I got no qualms with standing my ground. I can hold my ground for a while. We are doing well, Vontu. Every second we give to Prince Theodred is a second unwasted. So long as we stand, Rohan stands with us. Oh no. Edwig has taken a grievous blow. The time for fighting is over. Run! Who is Edwig?
I think he was the brother of Kata.
Ah.
If I've got the right name.
There is no victory here. We have to run. I mean, I was in Isengard. I told you guys. They will be on us in moments, Vontu. Let me gather the men about us and ready them for their last assault. Gather to me. Saruman's hammer stroke will soon be upon us. Our prince has gotten to safety. We cannot allow this force to reach him. Captain, a rider approaches. Captain, a second force of Uruks has come to the ford in secret. Kata has been driven back into Rohan. Prince Theodred is in danger. 1,000 curses upon Saruman. He sent a second force of Uruks to the ford on the other side of the river. We have to get back to the prince at once. Without Kata at the ford, Prince Theodred cannot drive them off with the few men he has in his party. We cannot die here. We have to get back to the ford at once to save Prince Theodred. He will be caught between the hammer and the anvil of Saruman.
The Uruks pursued us as we fled, and the riders Theodred left at the ford were driven away by their onslaught. The prince was forced onto the island in the middle of the river, attacked from both sides, and we could not reach him. All seemed lost.
I mean, again, it was a pretty obvious trap.
The prince was trapped in the middle of the river Isen. We had to fight through the line of Uruks to reach him.
Death to the forces of Saruman. Death to them all. Quickly, Ivantu. We must get to the water's edge and see what has happened to the prince. Ivantu, fight only those who get in our way. We must get to the water. I love that spell. It's too bad it's just got a super long cooldown.
That's usually how the really good ones do work.
I know, but it's just such a useful AoE spell. But I mean, it targets like, gosh, how many people now? Okay, it doesn't tell me exactly how many, but there's no time, Vontu. Prince Theodred is beset on all sides. We have to cross the river and break through the ring that surrounds him. No, since then. More flak, huh? Alright. Well, there's a face I have seen before. Vantu, I thought we would not meet again. The old man was not pleased to lose you as his guest and was very cross with Morflack. But in his wisdom, he sent me forth to gain his forgiveness, and with a simple mission. All I needed to do was kill the horse prince. I have done this and more besides. And now I will settle my score with you. Oh, so you think. Enough! Gather to me, boys! Finish this maggot once and for all! Morflack's attention is drawn to the eastern bank of the ford, but before you can take advantage of his inattention, you are yourself rooted to the spot with wonder. A line of riders has come from Rohan, and the courage of the Uruks melts away as the Rohirrim prepare to charge.
And yet, as the sun set and our hopes with it, the sound of a horn signaled the arrival of a new force on the far side of the river. Elfhelm riding hard from Helm's Deep, with many riders at his call. The Uruks retreated before him, and the day was saved. But much was lost that could not be regained. Night fell on the 25th of February, as my prince prepared for one last journey. A journey to lands we know not.
You are Vontu. Grimbold spoke to me of you. He says you fought bravely today. Elfhelm looks across the waters of the Isen into the distance. Many men fought bravely today. For many a man, this was his last battle. I rode hard from Helm's Deep when Saruman's forces were spotted. Would that we got here sooner. Grimbold is with the prince. You should go to him. Welcome, new people to the stream. Glad that you're joining us here today, and thank you so much for spending part of your Saturday with us. Vontu. Prince Theodred's wounds are grievous, Vontu. He does not have much time left. I've given him a bedroll and tried to make him as comfortable as I can, but he shakes his head, a haunted look in his eyes. I am a veteran of many wars, Vontu, and have seen death in all its forms, but to see Theoden King's heir die like this, more than my prince will die tonight. I fear Rohan dies with him. Grimbold, my old friend, my prince, I am here. Is the ford... is it... We still hold the ford, my prince. The Uruks have retreated to Isengard. Good. We need to keep. We will hold the ford. Saruman cannot break us, Prince Theodred. Elfhelm, I thought I saw your shield. You did, my prince. I rode down on the great orc that gave you that wound. Oh, come on, I wanted to kill Morflack. His courage deserted him, and I planted my spear in his back. Courage. Since then, where is... You need your rest, my prince. We will speak of Sinsten another time. Grimbold, I am not a child. Sinsten fell defending you from the orcs, my prince. He was very brave. Vontu, I want you to know... Theodred coughs weakly. He's clearly near the end of his strength. My father cannot stand alone. He closes his eyes for a moment, but keeps speaking. My father, the king, he needs allies if Rohan is to survive. He will have them. All of us will aid Theoden King. You will be with him, my prince. We will bring you to Edoras. No. Leave me here. I will keep the ford. Eomer. Prince Theodred is dead. We will bury him here, as was his wish, alongside his men. They will not return to Rohan, but will keep the ford alongside their prince until the end of all days. I am ready for this day to be done, Vontu. I know it is the same with you. Oh, that was depressing.
Well, Theodred always had to die.
He did. Alright, how long have you been waiting for me?
Like a minute or two.
Oh, really? You weren't... I thought you'd be way further ahead.
No, I was just doing some inventory cleanup, stuff like that.
This was no accident, Vontu. Saruman sought to slay our prince, and he succeeded. With that accomplished, he is content to have his forces retreat. This is a hollow victory. We hold the ford, but the loss of Theodred is too much for Rohan to bear. We have lost much this day, but we cannot despair. We must not. We must hold this crossing, or we die. Saruman accomplished what he wished this day, but there will come another day. And when it does, we will seek to cross the Isen and move into Rohan. My men and I will stand against him, and if you will stand with us, we may stand the longer. These dark days grow darker still. Rest now while you can, Vontu. Oh, cracked Khazad-dûm tracery. I should be able to disenchant that. What? Really?
Well, no, that's one of the barter items to get one of the legendary traceries.
I know, but I thought Okay. It has been a long day, Vontu, and we all could use a rest. We have held the ford, but have lost Prince Theodred, and that weighs heavily upon my mind. I fear the doom of Rohan is near. My men are tired, weary in body and mind, and we cannot stop it. Go south of here, to the milestone located in this camp. You will find a bedroll you can use there. Take your rest while you can. You may not have another opportunity for a while, and we will need you to be ready. So, who is this wounded friend we're supposed to have left with Galadriel? Have we...
We haven't done that part of the story yet.
Okay. The bedroll... really? The bedroll is uncomfortable, and you can feel every jutting stone on the hard ground through it. Even so, you are so exhausted by the events of the day that you fall into a troubled sleep.
You should get what rest you can, my friend, and try not to dwell upon the horrors of the battle. Perhaps things will seem less grim by the light of day.
Ooh, spoopy.
It is spoopy.
Nothing moves within Grimbold's camp. Oh, I'm about to tree. Oh, wait, there's a ring over here. I should probably go to the ring rather than outside the camp. You know, Theodred did not die at this place, but the sight of the fallen prince still fills you with regret and with worry for the future of his kingdom. The dream holds you in its grip and refuses to let you go. Candaith the ranger stands before you, an eyebrow raised in amusement. Really? I don't see Candaith.
He's like gonna be right behind you.
Uh...
He's right near Theodred.
Oh. So he are. Candaith looks around the corpse-strewn camp. Your journey must have been an arduous one, Vontu, if this is the tapestry of your dreaming. May you find restful sleep at the end of your road, my friend, for I fear you will have little of that for a while. Walk with me a ways, Vontu. There are some things we need to discuss. Oh, what does my Christmas goat look like, all spectrally? Oh, still very much the same. Death is all around you. I felt it on the Forsaken Road, and I feel it here. But you must not abandon hope, Vontu. Even the darkest night is followed by the dawn. All of us have left someone behind. That is why we brave the darkness. We fight, so they may see the dawn. Do not lose sight of who you are, my friend, and do not despair. I would give my life 1,000 times to be even the smallest help to Aragorn, my chieftain. That is what it means to be one of the Dunedain. It was no different for these men of Rohan or for their prince. They strove to protect their people and would do so again if given the opportunity. Weep for the need of it, but do not mourn their choice. I know they must be content. Someone comes. Let us meet him at the gate and keep him from further disturbing your rest. Hurry, this way. He is close. He is your own foe to face, Vontu. I will not be able to help you stand against him, and you will be on your own. Let the knowledge that you have already proven the stronger lighten your heart and bring you courage. Oh, good. I do get to slay Morflack. Vontu. You will never escape me. You cannot hope to defeat me. Oh. Oh, but I can. I can indeed, I think. What? You will never escape. You say that as you get run over. I wanted to kill him, not have him be run over. Your dreaming mind roams far afield, Vontu. Asleep, you are much like a ranger. I hope you do not mind my saying so. Candaith chuckles, but the pleasant familiarity of the sound rings hollowly in the still air of the dream and is soon gone. Our friends have their own road now, Vontu. May they reach Aragorn in time to be of use to him. It is my hope the most dangerous leg of their journey is behind them, but I fear it is not so. How much hardship will our friends face before the end? My guess is a lot. So much has been lost already. He lost a daughter, and he almost lost himself. Golidir stands before you, tall and proud, but his eyes burn with fire, and his lip is twisted into a sneer. I will not rest until he dies. Mordorith! No, that's not right. Lou Brennan. You must die. Oh, I don't disagree. This way, Vontu. Golidir has passed beyond your help. Lothrindir stands before you, struggling against his bonds, but his eyes show no sign of despair. Defiance shines from those wells of blue, and his mouth is a resolute line. Lothrindir resists. That is all he knows, and he will never submit to his captors. I fear he does not know any better. The only one who can save Lothrindir now is Lothrindir. Calenglad? Calenglad stares at the lake, his eyes glassy. He takes no notice of you. You are held in the grip of a dream. Gwyndeath. Gwyndeath, are you there? I should not have left you, Gwyndeath. I thought Calanglad was still alive.
He is.
But your duty... It was a mistake. I'm not strong enough for this duty. Candaith, Bregiar, so many of our friends. I failed them, but I will not fail you, my love. No, I forbid it. Stop. Danny, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Calanglad. Your thoughts turn to your friends, but you remember that you are held in the grip of your dreams. Nothing you have seen here is real, Vontu. I am sure our friends will be fine. Candaith does not sound as certain as you might wish, but you cannot help but wonder if that is proof of your own worrying doubt or something more. What is this place, Vontu? That river could be the Anduin, but have you ever seen this place? I wonder what has called it to your memory. Someone else is here, Vontu. The time has come for me to leave you again. Good night, my friend. Oh, but I've not been here with this group. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, Danny. Appreciate it. And LOTRO's a fun game. Like I've been playing it with my wife consistently for about a year now, and it's been a lot of fun to get into it. What is it, Mr. Frodo? You do not look well, and have not since we came back to the shore. That shape won't be coming back, I wager. Legolas saw to that with his arrows he did, and a good thing it was, too. You clutched your shoulder when it appeared, and looked to be in a great deal of pain. Are you sure you are feeling all right? I'm worried about you, Mr. Frodo. I am fine, Sam. I felt a chill in my heart, and the pain in my shoulder reminded me of, well, it is gone now, nothing more than a passing memory. I think we will be fine for a while. The orcs that attacked from the other shore were dismayed by the fall of whatever that shadow may have been. And yet, every paddle stroke on the river brings us further south, and as it does, my heart sinks southward still. Tonight the bow of Legolas saved us, but for how long will our fortune hold? I am sorry, Sam. I do not want you to worry. I will be fine, Sam. Whatever that creature was, it is gone now. Gimli says that shape we saw in the sky was a Balrog. You don't think it was, do you, Mary? I didn't get a good look at it, but that's what Gimli said. A Balrog, he said. You don't think it was, do you? How are you feeling, Pip? When that winged shadow came out from behind the cloud, I thought we were done for. I was wrong, though. Thank goodness for the quick wits and quicker bowstrings of the elves. I do not want to think too much about that dark shape, at least not tonight. Maybe the memory will be less frightening in the daylight tomorrow. It was a good shot, Legolas. I will give you that, but up close, nothing can best an axe in the hand of one of Durin's folk. If that winged shadow had come just a hair lower, I would have proven it, and you would have saved an arrow. Your gift has proved useful, I got that, and when I can make use of the Lady Galadriel's gift to me, you'll see a thing of beauty and wonder. Ugh, I'm not as good with Scottish as I used to be. Our journey leads us from danger into greater danger. To have lost Gandalf, to be pursued by orcs from behind, and to paddle into them ahead. What awaits us further down the river? And Gollum is still behind us. If he were not so cunning, perhaps I could catch him with an arrow. But it seems he has learned something about staying alive. In your hands, the bow of Galadriel is deadly indeed, Legolas. The entire company is in your debt. Did you mark how that shadow's fall dismayed the orcs on the far shore? I fear they will not attack us again tonight. My guess is that our clever waterman set them upon us. We have evaded his tricks thus far. May our fortune hold. Boromir stands apart from the rest of the group, staring across the water to the far bank, but every now and then his eyes drift in the direction of the hobbits. Aragorn. I will take the first watch. The little folks need their rest. They have been through much tonight. No, Boromir, we cannot stop tonight. It is too dangerous to stay here. The orcs have retreated for now, but we are still being watched. Your friends are gone, but something else has come.
Yes, they were here, yes, precious. Sneaking and creeping.
Oh, sneaking and creeping, precious. Oh, no, that's right.
Sneaking and creeping, precious. Floating and hiding. No splishing and splashing like the fishes. God.
The creature golem stares past you with its eyes like lamps, but even in the grip of the dream, you feel a chill at the thought you might be seen.
Are you a nice fishy? Tasty? We need to keep up our strength. Go! Go! We can't take the precious if our hands are too weak to wrap and squeeze. We need our strength. Tasty fishy. Eat, and then we follows the precious. Go! Go!
It's been a while since I broke that out on the stream.
But you had a perfect opportunity.
I did have a perfect opportunity for it. Yeah, I'll agree. It is a bit dated on the graphics for, what we kind of see today, but the lore and the story are oh my gosh, it's great, and it's a lot better than where WoW is currently on. I have to say that much. As you touch the sword, vivid color returns to the world. Yeah, WoW's story is so convoluted and weird these days. It's nice to have, solid lore. You are all alone. Candaith is gone. Your friends are all gone. Nona. Interesting. Vantu. Where are you? I cannot see you, Vantu. Where are you? She's the Dundlington, right? Nona?
Yeah, she's Wadu's sister, remember?
Yeah. Who is that? What is that? Something is coming. Vantu, where are you? The darkness is all around you. Oh, it's Galadriel. It flies with winged speed to endanger our secret purpose. Vantu, you must come to Lothlorien. Come to Lothlorien and bring the ghost. So cold. As you stare at Nona's lifeless body lying among the mist and reeds, you feel the waking world beginning to rip away the veil of sleep from your eyes.
The veil of sleep passes from your eyes, but the memory of what you have seen remains. The meaning of these troubled dreams, however, remains hidden to you.
Yeah, obviously not actual Andy Serkis, Danny. Just I can do a very, very spot on impression.
Oh, welcome back.
So is she the friend in Lothlorien? You're not going to answer, are you?
You gotta discover the story.
Ah. So we're headed back to Lothlorien?
Well, right now we have to talk to Grimbold.
Fair enough. What? You had a bad dream? Such things are to be expected after battle. Grimbold's expression becomes darker and more concerned as you tell him what you remember of the troubling dream. Ah, this is not merely a bad dream, Vantu. This is elf magic of the worst sort. It was a mistake for me to think you were different. All your kind deals in mysterious forces, and I was a fool to think you would not tangle my men in your net. If you were not so valuable in a fight, I would command you to leave and never return. You could not leave my sight quickly enough. Wow, you're welcome. Oh, look, I dreed. I will not force you to leave, my friend. You have been too valuable an ally, but heed this warning. Elf magic or not, this dream of yours is an omen of dangerous times ahead. It must steer your steps, but whether it steers them to good or ill, I cannot say. This I know, however, it is not your fate to stand with us again. Can you understand any of what you saw within the fog of sleep? You tell Grimbold that you do know of someone to whom the dreams seem to refer, the girl Nona, who called herself Wadu's ghost for a time, and swore vengeance on Dudlingdons in the pay of Saruman. You must begin by finding this girl, then. If she sought to slay Dunlingdons, she is certain to be somewhere within the Gap of Rohan. They gather in Wolf's Cleft, and the Gap teams with them. Go to Wilfereth in Forthbond, and to the west, and see if he has seen any sign of this girl. Okay. Well, let's go find Nona. The plot coagulates.
We can take the stable master.
Ah, okay. To where?
Greetings, friend of the Rohirrim.
Forthbrand.
Your
That's right.
aid is
He
welcome,
literally
brother.
just said it. Oh, bring her. I
I hope we will find
apparently have a quest to turn into this guy.
Yeah, apparently.
You've come up from Leopold. This is grim news you bring, but not unexpected. The enemy is already upon us. Okay, whatever. Some of my men fought at the fort alongside you, Lantu. They spoke highly of your deeds. Wilfrith listens as you describe Nona and her determination to slay Dunlingdons in the service of Saruman. One Dunlingdon seems much the same as any other to me, Lantu, but I have not seen any of them fighting amongst themselves. There was one thing, though. Not 2 hours ago, I heard the clash of sword on sword coming from the warrens of Athdar to the west. Perhaps your Dunlingdon ally was stirring up trouble from the heights. Well, you are up there. You should slay some wargs yourself.
I'm gonna grab his campsite fire. There's quests around here, but I'm probably mostly gonna focus on the main story if that's okay with you.
That's fine. I mean, you seem to want to do that. Okay, what are you grabbing here again, you said?
I'm binding to the campfire so I can take us back here quickly.
Okay, should I bind my milestone?
Up to you. We're bound to Grimbold's camp right now, so it's not too far either way.
Okay. I'll just leave it then.
Nice to see some green after all the desolation that was Isengard.
Yep. I got a point.
Yeah, it was an odd level, so you should have.
Oh, do you only get them on odd levels?
I think so.
Well, okay then.
Sometimes the story will just hand you one, but...
Oh, what the frick? How did I get dismounted?
Probably applying your new skills.
I mean, I switched spec so that I could apply my new point, but
That would probably have done it.
give me a sec here.
No, I'm just gonna kill these little guys.
Okay, healing spec is taken care of. Not that I use it anymore. Not really had much reason for me to be healing.
We've been kind of just face rolling everything.
Just a bit. Oh. You got that. What do you want to do for lunch?
I don't know. We still have taco soup.
Well, we do have taco soup. Okay. We should probably run out to the grocery store today, by the way.
Get some milk.
Milk, a couple of other things. Wow, there's a corpse and a backpack right here. I wonder if the backpack belonged to the corpse.
Don't know.
I'm going to say, in my own lore, yes. Yes, it did. I have nothing canonically to back that up, but they're so close, I'm just going to say yes. Okay, so we killed the wargs. Oh, there's another corpse over there. No, you can go for it. I just grabbed, like, the last 3 things, so... Or at least 2, anyway.
We're investigating a golden glint we saw over in this direction.
Ah.
At least that's what the quest tells us.
There's a backpack right to the left. And, okay, I'll just grab it then.
Yeah, I mean, I still get some golden stuff out of it.
You do? I thought you just had the stuff that you rolled on.
No, I get a share of the money that you find in there.
Oh, okay, then. This member of the Dragluth was slain by a sword stroke. Pieces of gold trail from his clenched fingers, and you pick them up and look at them curiously. As you straighten up, you see another glint of gold from the west, where 2 trails meet.
Ooh. That's actually a rather large pile of gold.
Yeah, it is. As you examine the pile of gold pieces, you see another glint further to the west.
Ooh, a piece of candy. Once again.
Well played. Well played. As you examine the pile of gold pieces, you see another glint further to the southwest.
We went out to find Nona, and now we're just like treasure hunters.
Basically.
Oh, look, Nona.
Your suspicion was correct, and Nona stands before you. I did not expect to see you again, friend. I am pleased you still live. You must have heard rumor of me. I have truly become Wadu's ghost, and the Gap of Rohan is my haunt. I have made use of the bribing gold we have recovered from Caraglin Vontu. I find warriors who have sworn allegiance to Saruman, and I leave piles of coins for them to discover. When they pick them up, I fall upon them and claim my vengeance. I have thinned the outliers of the army that gathers in Wolf's Cleft, but it is not yet enough to pay for the death of my brother. Wadu's ghost still hungers for the blood of those who serve Saruman and kill in the name of the traitor wizard, and she will have her fill.
Why did you search for me, if not to join in my vengeance?
You did not seek me out to join in my vengeance. Why then did you search for me? Nona listens attentively to your account of your troubling dream. When you have finished, she nods accordingly. Dreams of this sort have meaning, Vontu. My people know this well. Great harm has befallen those who ignore the warnings of dreams such as this. I will go with you to see this elf queen. Let us return first to my home in Loch. I must bid farewell to my father Suvulk before we begin such a journey. I want to make certain he is well before I go with you to this wood of gold. I will meet you by the front gate in Lanach in Enidwaith. Oh, are we getting just teleported there?
Well, yeah, at the end of the quest it said you will automatically travel to Lanuk in Enendwythe when you accept this quest.
Oh, I just thought that said solo quest. I cannot find my father anywhere in the village, Vontu. Before Wadu was slain, Suvulk used to go to the Pool of the King to listen to the water and think. Perhaps he is there now. Let us look for him there. The Pool of the King is northwest of the village. Okay, when you say us, do you mean just me? Because us would imply you're coming with.
We'll probably get there, and then her NPC will, like, materialize in.
Okay. All the rangers are gone.
It's been a while since we were here.
It has been. I mean, it's been several months, hasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say October-ish was when we were here.
Well, I mean, all these guys are trivial now.
Very trivial. Moria still feels like a lifetime ago.
And yet we spent a whole lifetime in there.
I know. We spent, what, like 4 or 5 months in there?
Something like that. Ooh, one of the dwarf markers. Gotta click it.
What? What? Oh. Yeah, I completely forgot about this. Yeah, aren't there like 4 or 5 of them?
There's a number of them.
Nona has told me what you plan to do and why. I will not keep you from this journey, Vontu the Elf. Dreams have power. All the Algreg know this. We ignore their warnings at our peril. I wish to speak further with my daughter. Search through the pottery fragments that surround the pool for something she can bring with her on this journey to remind her of Suvulk. Sometimes things of value catch on the sides of the pool. Old things, shiny things, pretty things. Busy yourself with this task while I speak with my daughter.
I would like a private word. Go away.
Go look through random debris and garbage on the banks of the river to find something that she will remember me by. Because apparently she will forget all the time of, my raising her up as a child.
You want to send somebody off with a little reminder of home.
Did you find something? Ah, you did. Suvulk takes the barrel from you and holds it up to light. I do not know how long this rested on the bottom of the pool, Vontu, or what caused it to drift to the bank and catch on the stones. But it did, and in that, it is like my Nona, and like you are moved by forces a simple man like Suvulk does not understand, but he does not presume to know where you will be on the morrow. Suvulk laughs again. The stone is pretty, Nona, my daughter. Wear it in distant lands and look on it and think of Suvulk. Wield that sword of the horse lords and think of your brother Wadu. You will be far away, but you will be near too, close by in heart and close by in thought. Ah, Suvulk's way is the way of battle, not the way of words. He has said enough. We'll go with the Mincentators.
I do not believe in long farewells.
I do not believe in long farewells. You have little time to delay. You must ride swiftly, for you have a long journey ahead of you. Okay.
An instant long journey.
Yep. You long to see the Lady Galadriel. I would not keep you from her, Vontu, but I fear things are not so simple this time.
This Dunlending girl that accompanies you must be blindfolded if she is to enter.
My orders forbid me from letting unfamiliar folk into Lorien. This Dunlington girl who accompanies you cannot enter the wood. You try to explain to Haldir the reason that you have brought Nona all the way to Lothlorien, but he remains unconvinced. This dream of yours could mean something, but even if it does not excuse me from my duty. Since I know you, Vontu, I will allow her to enter with you, but she must be blindfolded. This point is not negotiable. If you are ready to accept this, come with me.
This one's a solo quest.
I have the blindfold right here.
I have the blindfold right here. If the Dunlington girl will wear it without complaint, I will bring you to see the Lady Galadriel.
This Dunlending girl who travels with you cannot be allowed to see the secret ways into Lothlorien. I must bind her eyes if she is to come with you to see the lady.
Guide your friend well, for I will not be responsible for any injury she suffers while blindfolded. This is the law of the Golden Wood. No outsiders must see the secret trails of Lothlorien. It is out of respect for you, Vontu, that I permit even this. Follow me with care. You've seen many distant places, Vontu. Can any compare with the Golden Wood? I mean, to a degree. These are dangerous times, and I fear the beauty of Lothlorien must soon wane. There's some pretty beautiful places out there. This is far enough. Alright, I think this is far enough. You may remove the blindfold now, and I will bring you to the Lady Galadriel. I mean, we walked through an open field. I don't think that's that secret.
It's a secret.
Is it secret? Is it safe? This land is a pretty one, as these elves seem fond of saying, but this is what the daughter of Silvilk has to say. The hills of Nan Leglin at sunset are more beautiful by far. I submitted to the binding of my eyes for your sake, Vontu, and to learn the secret behind your dream, but do not expect it again. I will leave this land with my sight unhindered, or these elves will learn a sharp lesson at the point of Wadu's blade. Where is this elf queen? Do you want a flower garden like this?
I don't know. Yes and no.
Seems like it would be a lot to maintain. I did not expect you in Lothlorien, Vontu. What need has driven you hither when so many need your help elsewhere? You relate to Galadriel the troubling images you beheld while dreaming in Grimbold's camp, but your spirits fall when she betrays no sign of understanding. Your dreams are your own, Vontu. I had nothing to do with these images you saw. This dream you describe is very troubling, Vontu. Much of it seems born of worry for your friends, which is not unusual. But you saw more than that. Yes, Nona, there... Oh, even you? How can that be? Yes, Nona, there are forces in this world greater than any of us. There are powers in this world beyond even my understanding. Let's see. And yet, even in the darkest of hours, hope can never be truly gone. Hello, Vontu.
Gandalf.
We have both... yeah, I still resent him for shooting us to Rivendell when we were still so low level. We've both been through a great deal since we last met, Vontu, and neither of us is the same person when we were then. I do not have the time to tell you what befell me since we parted, but know this, the quest remains. Your dream tells Galadriel more than she lets on, and it tells me more yet. Our friends face a grave danger along the Anduin. I hope it is not too late for them to avoid it. Gandalf's eyes seem to pierce you, and you shiver uncomfortably. There's something unfamiliar in the wizard's bearing. He reminds you of Saruman. Your dream may hold only a shred of truth, but even that could prove vital. This is my guess, Vontu. I think you are needed along the banks of the great river. Only there can you learn the purpose behind your dream. I am needed elsewhere. You will have to serve. I am sorry, Vantu. It is good to see you. There is just so much that needs to be done. The Eagles have proven able companions to me in these dark days. Gwaihir has agreed to bear me where next I need go, and his brother Landrevel has been keeping his sharp eye on the Anduin. Would that I could be everywhere. I fought against fire and shadow in the depths of Moria and on the peak, and when returned to this world I faced another foe from afar. Those deeds have left me tired, and I will not speak of them now. We will speak again, Vantu, if our deeds prove fruitful. If they do not, well... Gandalf trails away. Suddenly, with a blaze in his eye and a tone of mirthful anger, he continues. Perhaps they would have proven enough that, had we not stood around talking about them for so long, my sentimental elf. We have our own tasks now. Let us get to them. I will send for Alfro here to bring you down the river to Thinglad, Vantu. Gandalf believes a great evil harries our absent friends. Perhaps your presence on the banks of the Anduin can prevent it from discovering or endangering them. I do not know what to think of this Galadriel, Vantu. Her words are fair, but beneath the surface she wields strength to match even the fiercest warrior of my people. I am surprised. Let us do as she says, and perhaps the answer to the riddle of your dream will be revealed along the great river. Well, that was a bit confundeling, but okay.
I have taken you as far as I can.
Who's Norio? I've taken you as far as I can. The rest of your road leads alongside the Great River.
There is a camp of elves not far from here.
There's a camp of elves not far from here in Thinglad. It is an outpost from which my people watch for threats from the south. It is called Haldirith, and if you wish to know what has been happening along the river, that is a good place to start. Present yourself to Fimloth at Haldirith and ask for tidings. Okay, I just got a painting that I need to save.
It's a statue.
Oh, it's a statue? Oh, Swan Fountain. Okay, cool.
You should go now to the elf camp here in Thingland.
I'm glad you were passing through this part of... Okay, good. I'm glad you're passing through this part of the wood, Vantu. While the Melian? Whatever. Here fade, Thinglad is still part of Lothlorien. I have heard and seen strange signs of trespassing of late. Will you investigate near here and see what there is to see? Make note of what you find. We can try to solve the riddle of who or what is invading this land so close to Karas Galadhorn. Alright. We've done a lot today.
We have. A lot of story.
Where did Nona end up?
She's probably, at the village.
Ah, fair enough. Empty fishermen's nets, abandoned at the river's edge.
So we're actually in a new zone now. Don't know if you noticed, but...
I had not.
Yeah, so we're in the zone that's essentially the space between Lothlorien and Rohan.
Gotcha. Where'd you go? I don't see your dot.
I'm coming back. I'm looking for... Oh, we're not Fellowship.
That would explain why you don't see your dot. There have never been fishing nets along this stretch of the Anduin as far as I can remember. What do we make of this? Who is trespassing on our land? If you have any skill in tracking, you should search the woods for signs of these invaders.
Wait for me.
I'm waiting. I was trying to find your dot.
We gotta go this way. A horseshoe.
And an orc, who we are several levels above.
Yeah, well, the quest that we're getting from this lady's level 70.
Oh. Is it? Oh, so do we not need to bother with this one then? I just picked it up out of habit.
I mean, we can do this one. I probably won't focus very much on the Great River quests in this zone. But
yeah, I just grabbed it out of habit.
What can I do for you?
Well, horseshoe. This must belong to one of the horses of Stangard, a Rohirrim settlement south of here. What great need drove these men to hunt and fish in Thinglad? They fear these woods and anything to do with the elves. I mean, they kind of do have reason to do so.
are you gonna take her next quest?
Should we?
I don't know. Oh, she's got like a bunch of them.
I mean, you just wanted to focus on the epic storyline, so let's just go back to focusing on that.
Okay, let's go talk to Fimloth. We can always come back here later and do the quests and the deeds and
Yep.
all that jazz. It's pretty here.
It's very pretty here. Very, very, very pretty here. Is this the village we need to go to?
Yep, this is Halderith.
Orcs have been sighted along the river.
This is a dangerous time to pass through Thinglad, stranger. Orcs have been sighted along the river. Fimloth listens attentively as you tell her that friends of yours passed this way, and you seek to know if they did so safely. The scouts have not reported any bands of travelers recently, but if your friends traveled in secret, they may have gone unnoticed. I have fewer scouts in Thinglad than I once did. If you travel south alongside the river, perhaps you will find some sign of your friend's passage.
We got the stable master.
Good call. I will bind my milestone here,
Me too.
because it seems like this is where we're going to be for a bit.
I will also bind to the campsite.
Cool.
But let us see what we can learn about the Fellowship's actions.
I am going to need to get like a house one day. Because
You should.
I've got like a bunch of stuff, like art and whatnot, saved in my vault. And I need to free up that space.
Well, the houses are fun. I like, having a house, decorating a house. You're not riding your goat.
No, I'm not. How shameful of me. I wonder if I could ride that goat in Moria.
Probably.
You see trampled grass underfoot. Did the Fellowship come this way? Potentially. Has the earth been disturbed here? Does it signify the Fellowship's passage?
We really just don't know.
I'm gonna guess the slain scout does not. You gingerly remove an orc arrow from the body of the slain scout.
Well, we gotta tell Fimloth we know why she has fewer scouts.
Yep.
Look, a bear.
Cool. Cool stuff. This is not the first friend we have lost, but that makes it no easier.
easier.
I will tell her family that she has fallen in the service to the Golden Wood. Fimloth shakes her head sadly. The orcs that killed her are surely still somewhere in Thinglad. If you wish to help us while you seek sign of your friends, slay any orcs you find in this land. You don't have to tell me twice.
You're like, you love that idea.
I'm totally down to be a homicidal sociopath again. It's been way too long since I killed something.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Probably longer. Because we had that whole dream sequence and everything else.
I found an orc. Come back.
I did too. But okay. Your orc's probably better.
I thought you were just still going.
No, I was looking for orcs.
Let's go kill your orc. That's a deer. Ooh, a couple of orcs.
Yeah, I mean, I was just riding until I saw him. Oh, and I am lagging now.
Well,
There we
that's no
go.
good. Well, do you have 2 orcs?
Yeah, I've got 2. Oh, and there's some down there.
And a backpack.
Now you can go for the backpack. I got the last one. Okay, so we need 2 more orcs.
Found 2.
That was convenient.
Let's go tell Fimloth that we killed orcs.
Yes, we killed a whopping 8 orcs out of several dozen? Few hundred? Infinite?
We've killed like 150 today.
I thank you for the help. The orcs must pay for the heartache they have caused us, though the debt be larger than the worth of their own lives. I sought to engage this woman you travel with in conversation, but she is slow to trust and slower to friend. I will not ask you to divulge any of your shared mysteries to me, but it is a curious thing. She bears the sword of the Rohirrim horse lords. Her folk have long been in enmity with that people, have they not? If she slew the sword's owner, you may find your path through this land made more difficult. The men of Rohan are not quick to forgive. She wished to speak with you when you returned.
I am worried. My people have never gotten along with the horse lords.
This elf has given me something to think about, Vontu. I am worried. My people have never gotten along with the horse lords, and it seems they have a large outpost just to the south. We will need to go that way if we are to learn the reason behind your dream.
I will travel with you to this village, if I must.
The outpost of the horse lords is south of here in Eorlsmead, and it is called Stangard. I will travel with you to this village if I must, but heed my warning. They will bear no love for me, nor I for them. I will stay my hand and my tongue for your sake, but I will suffer no insult from the Forgoyle. Let us learn what we may from their outpost, then leave quickly. How far away is the outpost?
Look at the map. It's like directly south of us.
Oh, that's not that far.
To Stangard then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Or I'll just sit here and run into the wall.
You would.
I hear cicadas.
I do too.
So if you look to your right, you see that statue? Oh, it's kind of faded. It's like two guys shaking hands.
No.
It's kind of dark right now that we're out of the forest. It like got really dark on us all of a sudden. Well, I'm pretty sure the quest sends us there, but if it doesn't, I will make sure you see that statue.
Okay. Is there relevance behind it?
That's where the alliance between Eorl the Young and Gondor was made.
Ah. Who is this woman, and why does she carry a sword of my people? You are a long way from home, stranger, and in the company of a Dunlington warrior witch. I do not like it. Affik glowers at you, his heavy-lidded gaze suspicious. This outpost may be beyond the borders of Rohan, but the law of Theoden King holds, and I cannot allow this warrior witch to pass unchallenged. Take that Rohirric sword from her and present it to Horn, atop Stangard, and see what he thinks. He is young, but in matters of swordcraft and history he is unrivaled. If he believes this woman is no threat, I will allow her to enter, otherwise she must remain outside the walls.
I will let you carry the sword, but do not let any of these men touch it.
I will let you carry the sword, but do not let any of these men touch it. This weapon may be the result of their swordcraft, but it is theirs no longer. Now it is the sword of my brother Wadu, and the chain of its heritage has been severed and made anew. Wadu's ghost wields it now. Nona studies you closely. Take it from this bag of my belongings. Bring it to this man, Horn, atop the village. But heed my words. Let none but you touch it, and return it to me when he is satisfied.
Mounting might drop a sword.
Oh, really? So it did. It did indeedly. Alright.
Oh, look, your first taste of a Rohirrim town.
This is true. We're making our way into Rohan. We got that letter from Galadriel for the beginning of Book 9, right?
I think so.
Wow, we've got a lot more books to go through. Oh, that's a big milestone. Welcome to Stangard, such as it is. What is the sword you bear? He reaches out for it, but you shake your head and keep it in your hands. He laughs quietly, and you tell him briefly of Nona, Wadu, and the sword. I see. This is a Rohirric sword, but it is old, very old. It strikes a memory in me, but I cannot place it. I wonder if it was fashioned before Eorl the Young came out of the Northlands. He seems to reach a decision. I want to show you something. Return this curious weapon to your friend at the gate with my regards and tell her she is welcome to enter the village. I do not think either of you are our foes. Then meet me outside town by the Kuthstan. It is a large statue of two figures located among the Wailing Hills west of Stangard, and I think you should see it. That seems like actually a perfect point to set up for next week. What do you think?
Going there or waiting to go there?
Well, starting there. Now we can venture over there first thing.
Okay.
Because I mean we are kind of hitting lunchtime for us, so.
Yep, it's hunger time.
Yep. Ooh, I need to talk to the stable master.
Yeah, get Nona her sword back first. We promised it.
I have permission to enter. Ha! I will remain outside. The village smells too much of horse and false dealing for me. Thank you for returning Thank you for returning Wadu's sword to me, Vontu. I knew I could trust you. I am not so certain of these others.
You meet this man Horn at the Kustan.
I have no interest in this town, Vontu. These folk are the same as their brethren elsewhere and have nothing helpful to tell us. I will seek the meaning of your dream in the wild. You meet this man Horn at the Kuthstan. I will search elsewhere. Where did he say it was? The Wailing Hills to the west? Take care of yourself, Vontu. Horn may seem to be a friend, but his people are treacherous and he will prove no different. Keep him at the length of your arm. Alright, well.
Your aid is welcome, friend.
Meeting Horn at the Cat's Den seems like a good stopping point for now. Or like a good picking up point for next week. So thank you so much everyone who's been here for the stream. We're so appreciative that you've been here with us today. Thank you so much for our new subs and our new followers. We're very, very grateful. Next week we will be an hour shorter just because we've got an obligation, a game day with some friends. But we will still be here. But until then, stay safe. I'm Vanlin.
I'm Yummy Elf.
And this is Cow Elf Gaming. We'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.